Hey Darren, I'm here at work, working very late, and I got a lot of work to do. And I saw your video, and I want to take a little break because I'm tired of thinking about work. And so, thanks for the opportunity to take a little break. Good old fashioned, just a YouTube video exchange back and forth, like the good old days. So yeah, you asked three questions of your atheist, heretic friends, godless friends. Actually, the pejorative term which I choose is my preference would be apostate, actually. So I am your apostate friend. um, yeah, before I answer your questions, though, I'd like to ask a question of my own. It seems like you're making a big deal about, atomism just doesn't work, really. Just the atoms floating around the void. You have to add something else to that. You have to add forms or something else to that in order to really make that intelligible. And that leads somehow to God. So I just want to ask you a quick question. Isn't it possible? I mean, it seems like it would be possible to be a dyed-in-the-wool atomist, and yet be an Orthodox Christian. Is it really? I mean, are you saying that it's impossible to have a non-heretical view of God and also be an atomist? I wouldn't think those two things are necessarily contradictory. I don't know. So if they're not necessarily contradictory, I don't really see how you can reason from the one to the other, right? It doesn't seem like one of them excludes the other one or necessarily implies the other one. I don't know, just something to think about. Anyway, for your questions, your first question was, what prompts you to disbelieve in God? Well, I mean, basically for me, it's like, where are the righteous people, right? If there really were this all-powerful, all-wonderful God who's like working out his will in this temporal realm that we're in, it seems like we would have a lot more righteous people than we do. I mean, what do we see instead, right? I mean, we see a world of crap, right? I mean, we see animals eating each other alive for food. And we see human beings treating each other even worse than the animals do, right? So where is the room in this for any kind of, loving, benevolent God? I mean, I suppose I do see a room for a God which is quite terrible in a certain sense. Would really bring a lot of cosmic misery. I mean, pretty much every creature that can feel pain will eventually feel pain. Pretty much every creature that can suffer will suffer to the maximum degree that it's possible for that creature to suffer before that creature dies, right? Is this really compatible with any kind of version of God that you even want to conceive of? Pretty scary. Your second question, the contingency of being. I really don't feel the problems that you see with atomism. I mean, maybe it's just I didn't understand your points well enough. But what is the problem? Like one of the problems that you mentioned is if you look at it, what atom in your hand, right? It's not really any different from atoms anyplace else. So there can't be anything in that atom which implies the totality of the possibilities of what this atom can be. Is that really true? I mean, think about for example, think about a letter in an alphabet, like the letter A, right? It can be aardvark. It can be part of Randy. It can be part of any word that has the letter A in it, right? Do you feel the same difficulty? Does that present itself in the same way when you think about how letters combine to make words? Because in a certain sense, the letter A actually does imply all the possibilities of combinations with all the other letters, right? Or like a Lego brick, right? If you say this Lego brick by itself can be part of any number of different toys, right, that are built with Legos. I mean, in a certain sense, that Lego does imply the possibility of everything else that's there, right? By virtue of the fact that it connects in a certain way with other Lego blocks. I mean, do you feel the same? Does the same thing press on you in the other ways. I guess I don't understand really the point of how it is. I mean, once you have the Lego block, implies a certain connection pattern with all other possible Lego blocks by itself, right? It can only fit in. You can't put them in a diagonal or this kind of thing, right? They have to fit orthogonally together in certain shapes and all this kind of stuff. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem to press in the same way as I don't feel the same discomfiture with it, I guess. So I mean, just a basic atomistic framework doesn't really seem to hurt my brain as much as it hurts yours. I mean, I can see where what it does do is it pretty much drains the universe of any possible inherent meaning, right? I mean, you just have these atoms that are bouncing around. I can certainly understand why you wouldn't want to live in that kind of universe or have your being in that kind of a world. That you much prefer a world which is structured in some way by this transcendent logos kind of thing. But I don't see where it's a conceptual problem. I don't see where it's like it's that or bust, because atomism is clearly false. Your last and third final question is what's with all this general language that we use, right? I mean, so again, I guess I would say, do you have does the same problems press in your mind when you think about all possible words, say, or all possible strings of letters, right? Or all possible toys you can build with Legos, right? I mean, it seems like once you have a letter and you see how you stack them up to make strings, or once you understand how Legos blocks work, it doesn't really seem to press a problem in my mind where you could say all possible strings of letters, or all possible words, or all possible Lego toys, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, I guess I just don't. I mean, these stresses and these philosophical problems which seem to present themselves to your mind, they just don't press on me as being something which is like really a problem. So maybe if you talk about it some more, I'll feel the problem and I'll feel your pain. But I guess that's just the short answer. I really don't feel your pain on a lot of these issues.